Wow, this is really awesome so far. This is Pokémon Hisuian Snow, an animation being released in 3 parts. Now part 1, called Onto the Icy Blue, is out. When it comes to promoting any type of film, there's always a line between keeping something vague so the audience gets a genuine reaction out of it, and giving away plot information as to get more people interested in watching. This is the reason why movie fans in general have always had a love-hate relationship with movie trailers. I could go off on a whole tangent about this topic right now, but that is for another time. Unfortunately, when Hisuian Snow was announced, I read the whole blurb in the announcement post on the Pokémon website, so I wasn't coming into this entire thing spoiler-free. Right now, I will be talking about Part 1 in full. If you haven't seen Part 1, go watch it now, during this intermission, if you intended to see it for yourself, and then come back. Otherwise, sit tight, and I'll be right back.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Alright, now that spoilers are no longer an issue, welcome back. Like I said, I read the whole blurb, which did include crucial plot info, so I didn't go in completely blind. Like I said, there's a line when it comes to promoting film. Any type of film. I don't blame them, but it would have been nice if I somehow could have avoided seeing what I did. Basically, what I already knew thanks to the blurb was what type of character the main character would be, which Pokémon would be featured as a main character, what the basic theme the narrative would follow. This is a double-edged sword, like I already said twice. Spoiling these things for myself sucked, but at the same time, seeing these details is what got me so interested in the animation to begin with. It is still something I wish I could have avoided, because when I first saw Bidoof's big stand, I did so completely blind. So while that short didn't have the most complicated plot, it left a big impact on me because I had no idea what to expect from it. As of now, Pokémon Legends Arceus is the newest big Pokémon game out, and Hisuian Snow is based on its world. If there's one thing that Legends Arceus excels at, it's the world building and lore department. It's immediately obvious that at the point in time it takes place in, the Pokémon world is very different than what it's been known for. There's different people, clans, organizations, and differing philosophies and views over Pokémon and the ethics of human involvement with them. This is juxtaposed with the player character being from modern Pokémon times, where one can literally just go to the store and buy Pokeballs. Honestly, I go so far as to say Legends Arceus has some of the best writing I've ever seen in a Pokémon game. It would be wrong to say that Pokémon didn't have world building before, but having a game not take place in a new region, but an already explored region in the past is a novel idea for the series, and this concept is the perfect setup for other material such as this animation to draw from. This is too interesting of an idea not to explore further. The best part is that this is not just a reenactment of things from the game. This is a completely separate, original story. Just starting to watch it and looking at it is just... wow. This is art. From the very beginning flashback sequence, I was hooked. There was this hand-drawn like layering, and they were doing what I like to call the Spider-Verse effect, where 2 different things are animated on different numbers of frames. Then the story begins, and right from the opening shot, wow. The landscape of Mount Coronet, followed by the zoom out with the characters coming into focus in the foreground, is just plain beautiful. About that art style, there is definitely an intentionally washed out colorization motif going on with the whole thing. It definitely invokes the cold winter theme they're going for, and of course, already in Part 1, Hisuian Snow is living up to its name by featuring a lot of snow. The less saturated look doesn't give off a darker, uninviting vibe though, thanks to the fact that it is counterbalanced by everything being bright with low contrast. I already love these character designs. The art style is almost what I'd call anime light. That is, it has characteristics of Japanese anime, while also keeping its character features more grounded in the vein of Western trends. I like how everything is given detail from the characters to the settings without trying to look overtly realistic. It's a stylized realism. So about the actual plot. Well, most of it here is establishing scenes. The main characters are seen traveling by sea to Hisui to meet family in Jubilife Village. By the way, I can't wait to see Jubilife Village if they show it in animated form. The father is shown to be a tradesman. His son, on the other hand, is like... Okay, can I just say how much I love this character design? From the first few seconds on screen, I already got a strong sense of what his personality was. I immediately know that this kid is interested in getting close to Pokémon in an almost juvenile version of anthropological study kind of way. He has the trait of duality. On one hand, he's a human boy. On the other hand, he dons the mask and acts as a Pokémon. I really do appreciate what they are going for with this series. The biggest underlying narrative theme to Legends Arceus is the relations between humans and Pokémon, and having a story with the same theming but on a smaller scale is captivating. Although I will say, I find it a little, overkill, how blatant they are with it here, sometimes, in a couple lines. It's not a big deal or anything. I mean by this that the only thing I think would improve it would be if just one or two lines were very slightly altered to be just a tiny bit more subtle. Besides that, the writing's fine. The interesting thing is that this kind of becomes a purely visual piece of storytelling once the boy wanders off. As in, there's absolutely no dialogue after that. The personality this bit has is super strong, though. I don't believe for 1 second that this kid is clumsy, but the way he stumbles back into branches and doesn't stay calm the whole time is oddly realistic. Every second of this interaction is great. It doesn't feel like the same tired cliché where it's the super outgoing kid with the shy creature setup I swear I've seen a million times. They managed to make it not feel overly scripted despite the fact that this is scripted animation. Well, when they go falling off the cliff, I did find it a bit odd that this kid isn't immediately panicking, but then I realized that this was taking place in a distorted period of time for artistic sake. The actual fall only takes a second in real time, and this is the shot they're ending on. Then it made sense to me. It was a good point to end on, after all. It's pretty obvious that this thing was not conceptualized as a multi-part series after seeing the first part. This is a short film split up for a release schedule. This is less of an episode and more of an opening to the rest of the story. It literally ends in the middle of stuff happening. No plot gets resolved, and I am almost certain Part 2 is picking up right from where Part 1 left off. What I'd really like to see at some point is for them to release a complete cut of all 3 parts without credits breaking them up, but I'm not going to hold out for it. Whatever, as long as all 3 parts stay on Pokémon TV, I'll be happy. Maybe in the future, if I want it that bad, I'll just make my own cut of it, like I just described for personal viewing. So, what are my thoughts about the length? Well, Part 1 is between 5 to 6 minutes long, excluding the credits, and assuming the other 2 parts are about as long, this will end up running about 15 minutes total. While that might not seem like much, it being less runtime than a normal TV episode, keep in mind the quality of the animation at work here. 15 minutes is actually a lot considering the level of detail they're going for here. Either way, this is exactly what I want to see from film and animation based off of video games. I love everything about this. When I watch this, I am not being advertised to. This doesn't feel like a marketing tie-in. Being based on the most recent game aside, this feels like a genuine work of art that was made because both those with the budget and those directing the project had a creative vision and they wanted to bring it to life. Well, that's most of what I wanted to say on Hisuian Snow so far. Stay tuned for whenever Part 2 comes out, and I'll be sure to be there to give my thoughts right when it drops.